The emergency signal cut through space like a knife, through silence. Deep in the outer rim of the galaxy, something was dying. The transmission was weak and broken, filled with static and desperation. Came from a world that most civilized species had forgotten existed. Captain Li Wu-Jin stood on the bridge of the indomitable spirit, watching the alien message play on the main screen. The creature speaking was tall and thin, with gray skin that looked like old leather. Its 4 arms moved frantically as it spoke in its native language. The ship's computer worked hard to translate the words. "This is Elder Deck of the Thekra. People, our world is ending. The ground shakes without stopping. Fire falls from the sky. The air burns our lungs. We have maybe 10 cycles before all life dies. Please, anyone who can hear this, help us. Help our children survive." The message, repeated 3 more times before cutting to static. Wu-Jin looked around his bridge crew. Engineer Park Min-ho frowned at his console. Medical Officer Kim Sora had stopped her work to listen. Weapons Specialist Han Da-yoon was already pulling up star charts. Communications Officer Choi Hyan-woo was trying to trace the signal's origin. "Where did this come from?" Wu-Jin asked. Hyan-woo's fingers danced over his controls. "Kepler 4 for 2B, Captain. It's in the Forbidden Zone, about 300 light years from here." Sarah looked up from her medical station. "The Forbidden Zone, Captain. Nothing lives there. The whole sector is marked as dead space. Something lives there," Min-ho said quietly. "At least for now." Wu-Jin walked to the main display and studied the coordinates. Kepler 442b was a red dot in a sea of empty space. The computer showed basic facts about the world. High gravity, toxic atmosphere, surface temperature hot enough to melt lead, constant volcanic activity, acid rain that could eat through metal. "Pull up the Galactic Council database," Wu-Jin ordered. "I want to know everything about this world." Screen filled with official records. Most were warnings. Kepler 442b was classified as a Class 9 death world. It's the highest danger rating possible. The notes were clear. No ship should approach within 50 million kilometers. Any contact with the planet's surface would result in immediate destruction. "There's more," Captain Hyan-woo said. Rescue missions have been sent to that world in the past 50 years. The Andorian Republic sent their best exploration ship. The Centauri Alliance sent a full rescue fleet. The Vegan Collective sent their most advanced medical vessel. And none of them came back. Complete loss of all ships and crew. The bridge fell silent. Sarah was the first to speak. "Captain, if 3 advanced civilizations couldn't help these people, what makes us think we can?" Wu-Jin didn't answer right away. He was thinking about the alien in the message, the fear in its voice, the way it had begged for help for its children. He thought about the 10 cycles mentioned. In Thekra time, that meant about 20 Earth days. "Let's pull up the Galactic Council's current response to this distress call," he said. Hyan-woo worked his console. "They're debating it in emergency session. 17 different species have offered thoughts and prayers. The Andorian Republic has offered to send supply ships to the edge of the system. The Centauri Alliance is willing to accept refugees if someone else rescues them. The Vegan Collective has offered medical supplies, but no one is actually going to help. No, sir. The risk is too high. The Galactic Council has officially classified Kepler 4 for to be as a lost cause." Da-yoon looked up from her weapons console. "Captain, I've been studying the tactical reports from the failed rescue missions. The Andorian ship was destroyed by volcanic lightning. The Centauri fleet was torn apart by seismic activity. Ativ, the Vegan medical ship was dissolved by acid rain. The planet killed them all," Min-ho added. "The world itself is a weapon." Wu-Jin nodded slowly. He understood why the galaxy had given up on the Thekra. Kepler 4 for to be was not just dangerous. It was actively hostile to life. It's a kind of world that could kill you in a dozen different ways before you even touch the ground. So what do we do, Captain? Sora asked. Before Wu Jin could answer, another message came through the ship's communications system. This one was from the Galactic Council directly. The face of Veltar, the Andorian Republic's representative, appeared on screen. "Attention, all vessels," Veltar said. "We have received reports that some species are considering unauthorized rescue attempts on Kepler-4 for 2b. We strongly advise against such action. The planet has already claimed the lives of thousands of rescue personnel. We cannot allow more good people to die in a pointless gesture." The Andorian's large eyes looked directly at the camera. "To our human friends, we know your species has a reputation for taking risks, but this is not a risk. This is suicide. Your ships were not built for such extreme conditions. Your technology is not advanced enough to survive what that world can do. Please, for the sake of your crews, stay away." The message ended. The bridge crew looked at their captain, waiting for his decision. Wu Jin walked to his command chair and sat down. He thought about Valtar's words. The Andorian was right about one thing. Human ships were not built the same way as other species' vessels. Human technology was different. "Minho," he said, "send a message to Earth Command. Tell them we're volunteering for the Kepler-4 to be rescue operation." "Captain," Sora said carefully, "are you sure about this?" "The Andorians are right. Our ship wasn't designed for Class 9 Deathworlds." Wu Jin smiled, but it was not a happy smile. It was a smile of someone who knew a secret that others did not. "Send another message," he said. "This one goes to the Galactic Council. Tell them that Earth appreciates their concern, but they've misunderstood something important." "What's that, Captain?" Hien Wu asked. "Tell them we're not sending a rescue ship to Kepler-4 for 2b. The crew exchanged confused looks. Dayun was the first to ask the obvious question. "Then, what are we sending?" Wu Jin's smile grew wider and somehow more dangerous. "We're sending something much worse than a rescue ship. We're sending the indomitable spirit, and there's something the galaxy needs to understand about humanity and our ships." He stood up and walked to the viewport, looking out at the stars. "We don't build our ships to avoid dangerous places. We build them to make dangerous places safe. And sometimes, the most dangerous thing you can send to a dangerous world is a ship that refuses to die." The crew began to understand. This was not going to be a rescue mission like the others. This was going to be something entirely different. "Course for Kepler-4 to be," Wu Jin ordered. "And send one more message to the Galactic Council. Tell them that humanity is coming, and we're bringing our own kind of help." As the indomitable spirit changed course toward the Forbidden Zone, Veltar's warning echoed in their minds. I was right about one thing. This was not a mission for ordinary ships or ordinary people. But then again, there was nothing ordinary about humanity or their ships. And the galaxy was about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous response to a dangerous situation is to send something even more dangerous than the problem itself. The Thekra had asked for help. They were going to get it, but not in the way anyone expected. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with angry voices. Representatives from dozens of species filled the massive hall, all talking at once. On the main screen, Captain Li Wu Jin's face looked calm as chaos erupted around him. "Kana P. Serious?" Veltar of the Andorian Republic said, his large eyes wide with shock. "Humans, your species has been in space for less than 200 years. We have been exploring the galaxy for over 3,000 years. If we cannot survive Kepler-4 for to be, how can you?" Wu Jin's expression did not change. "Respect, Representative Veltar. You're asking the wrong question." "Then, what is the right question?" asked Zilinara of the Centauri Alliance, her blue, skin had turned darker with worry. But the right question is not how we can survive Kepler for 4 to be, Wu Jin said. The right question is why your ships could not. On the bridge of the indomitable spirit, Engineer Park Minho stepped forward. May I explain our ship's design to the council? Veltar waved one of his 4 arms. Please do. Perhaps we can understand your confidence before you all die needlessly. Minho moved to his engineering station. The screen split to show both his face and a detailed display of the ship's internal systems. The indomitable spirit is not like your ships. Your vessels are built to protect their crews from hostile environments. Ours is built differently. How so? Asked Dr. Kefri of the Vegan Collective, leaning forward with interest. Our ship is built to adapt to hostile environments, not hide from them. Minho touched his controls, and the display showed the ship's whole structure. The outer shell is made from deep ocean biometal harvested from Earth's deepest trenches. The pressure down there is crushing. Temperature changes are extreme. The chemical composition would dissolve most metals. But this biometal grows stronger under pressure, he continued. When heat is applied, it does not melt. It evolves. It creates new pathways to handle the stress. The more hostile the environment, the stronger our hull becomes. The council chamber fell quiet. This was not how their ships worked. Their vessels used energy shields and force fields to push away danger. The human ship seemed designed to absorb it. Show them the engines, Captain Wu Jin said. Minho's display changed to show the ship's power systems, standard starship engines. Avoid dangerous reactions. They use controlled, safe fusion processes. Our engines are different. They use the same type of fusion reactions that power Earth's volcanoes. That is impossible, Veltar said. Such reactions would tear your ship apart. Not if the ship is built to handle them, Minho replied. We tested these engines in the molten caves of Venus. We flew through the plasma storms of Jupiter, dove into the liquid metal seas of Mercury. Each test made our systems stronger. Zilinara looked confused. But why would you build such dangerous systems? Safe fusion is much more reliable. Medical Officer Kim Sora stepped into view. Because safe systems fail when they encounter unsafe conditions, dangerous systems learn to handle dangerous conditions. Explain, Dr. Kefri said. Sora moved to her medical station. Your rescue ships failed because they tried to protect their crews from Kepler-4 for 2B's environment. But you cannot protect against everything. Eventually, the protection fails, and when it does, the crew dies immediately. She touched her controls, showing biological data on the screen. We took a different approach. Instead of protecting our crew from dangerous environments, we prepared them to survive in those environments. What do you mean? Veltar asked, though his voice suggested he was afraid of the answer. Enhanced lung capacity to process toxic atmospheres. Reinforced bone structure to handle extreme gravity. Modified metabolism to function in high-temperature conditions. Improved blood chemistry to resist acid damage. The council chamber erupted in shocked voices. Dr. Kefri was the first to speak clearly. You modified your own bodies. That is, barbaric Sora's expression remained calm. Is it more barbaric than letting an entire species die because we were too afraid to help them? But the risks, Zilinara protested. What if the modifications harm you? What if they save us? Sora replied. Your people sent ships with crews who would die the moment their protection failed. We sent a crew that can survive even if everything goes wrong. Captain Wu Jin stepped back into view, showed them the tactical analysis. Weapon specialist Han Da-yoon appeared on screen. Her face was serious as she brought up new displays. We studied the reports from your failed rescue missions. The Andorian ship was destroyed by a volcanic lightning storm. But they were trying. To avoid the lightning, we would use it. Use it how? Veltar asked. Lightning is electrical energy. Our ship can absorb and redirect electrical energy. A lightning storm would not destroy us. It would power us. The display showed tactical projections. The Centauri fleet was torn apart by seismic activity, but they were fighting against the earthquakes. We'd work with them. Work with earthquakes. Silanara sounded confused. Seismic activity creates patterns. If you understand the patterns, you can predict where the safe zones will be. Ain't you? Can you use the ground movement to help you instead of fighting against it? Dayun continued. The vegan medical ship was dissolved by acid rain, but they were trying to resist the acid. Our whole chemistry actually benefits from certain types of acid exposure. It helps the biometal evolve faster. Dr. Kefri looked horrified. You are saying that everything that killed our ships would make your ship stronger? Not everything, Dayun admitted. But most things, yes. Communications Officer Choi Hyun-woo joined the display. We have been monitoring Kepler-4 for 2B since we received the distress signal. Our long-range sensors have detected something your scans missed. What? Several council members asked at once. The display changed to show scan results from the planet. The volcanic activity and seismic events are not natural disasters. They are being caused by something artificial. The image zoomed in to show massive mechanical structures moving beneath the planet's surface. They were enormous, each one the size of a city. They had drilling arms and collection systems that were tearing apart the planet's core. Mining constructs, Hyun-woo said. Someone built them long ago and left them to work, systematically, destroying the planet from the inside. Viltara leaned forward. Are you saying the Thikra are not dying from natural disasters? They are dying because ancient machines are eating their world, Wu Jin said. The volcanic eruptions happen when the constructs break through to the surface. Seismic activity is caused by their drilling operations. The toxic atmosphere comes from the chemicals they release during mining. But why did our sensors not detect these machines? Zilinar asked. Because your sensors look for energy signatures and metal compositions that match known technology, Dayun explained. These constructs are built from materials we have never seen before. They generate energy in ways we do not understand. Your sensors could not recognize them as artificial. How did you detect them? Dr. Kefri asked. We look for patterns in the destruction, Hyun-woo said. Natural disasters are random. These events follow a systematic pattern. Someone programmed these machines to work efficiently. The council chamber was silent as the representatives absorbed this information. Finally, Veltar spoke. These machines destroyed our rescue fleets. What makes you think you can succeed where we failed? Captain Wu Jin smiled, and it was not a pleasant smile, because your fleets were not designed to fight. They were designed to rescue. The indomitable spirit is different. Different how? We are not just a rescue ship. We are a warship built to operate in the most dangerous places in the universe. Those constructs have been destroying ships by using the planet's environment as a weapon. But we built our ship to use that same environment as our weapon. Minho stepped forward again. The constructs expect their enemies to fight against the hostile environment. They do not know how to handle an enemy that fights with the hostile environment. You are going to war with ancient machines on a death world, Veltar said slowly. No, Wu Jin corrected. We are going to save the Thekra. The war with the machines is just what we have to do to accomplish the rescue. And if you fail? Silanara asked. If these constructs destroy you, like they destroyed our ships, Wu Jin's smile grew wider. Then, at least, we will have tried. But we will not fail. Because failure means letting innocent people die, and humans do not accept that as an option. The indomitable spirit will reach Kepler-4 to be in 18 hours, Hyun-woo reported. We will send regular updates on our progress if you survive long enough to send them, Veltar muttered. We will survive, Captain Wu Jin said with complete confidence, because that is what humans do. We survive things that should kill us, and then we make sure no one else has to face those things alone. The transmission ended. The council chamber remained silent for a long time. Finally, Dr. Kefri spoke. Either we are about to witness the most heroic rescue in galactic history, or we are about to watch brave fools die for nothing, I suppose. We will find out soon enough, Veltara said, quietly, in space. The indomitable spirit continued its journey toward the Forbidden Zone, carrying a crew that had been transformed to survive the impossible, and a ship that had been built to thrive in places where other ships could only die. The indomitable spirit dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Kepler 442b system. Captain Li Wu-jin stood on the bridge, watching the view screen as their destination came into view. The planet looked like a ball of fire and poison spinning in the darkness. Sensor report. Wu-jin ordered. Communications officer Choi Hyen-woo worked his console quickly. Surface temperature is averaging 210 degrees Celsius. Atmospheric composition is 60% sulfur dioxide, 30% carbon monoxide, 10% various toxic compounds. Seismic activity is constant across the entire planet. Volcanic eruptions are happening every few minutes. Radiation levels, asked Medical Officer Kim Sora. High enough to kill an unprotected human in minutes, Hyen-woo replied, but within acceptable limits for our modifications. Engineer Park Min-ho checked his systems. The ship's hull is already beginning to respond to the radiation. The biometal is starting its adaptation process. Through the view screen, they could see massive storms raging across the planet's surface. Lightning flashed constantly, but this was not ordinary lightning. The electrical discharges were red and green, colored by the toxic gases in the atmosphere. Storms would destroy any normal ship, weapons specialist Han Da-yoon observed. Good thing we are not a normal ship, Wu-jin replied. Suddenly, the ship's alert system activated. Read lights flashed on the bridge. Captain, Hyen-woo said, his voice tight with concern. I'm detecting 3 large objects rising from the planet's surface. They're moving toward us. On the view screen, 3 massive shapes emerged from the storm clouds. They were the mining constructs the crew had detected earlier, but seeing them in person was shocking. Each one was over 2 kilometers long and covered in drilling arms, collection devices, and weapon systems. Those are the machines that killed the other rescue fleets, Da-yoon said, studying her tactical display. They're armed with energy weapons I've never seen before. The lead construct sent a signal toward the indomitable spirit. The ship's computer worked to translate it, but the message was simple enough to understand without translation. Turn back, or be destroyed. Captain Wu-jin walked to his command chair, sent a reply. Tell them we're here to help the Thekra, and we're not leaving until we do. Sir, Hyen-woo said hesitantly, maybe we should try to negotiate. Those machines have been killing innocent people for who knows how long, Wu-jin replied. Time for negotiation ended when they started destroying worlds. The construct's response was immediate. All 3 opened fire at once. Energy beams that could cut through the strongest known metals lanced out toward the human ship. The weapons were so powerful they lit up the space around them like miniature suns. Brace for impact, Da-yoon called out. The energy beams struck the indomitable spirit's hull with tremendous force. The ship shook and lights flickered on the bridge. But when the weapons fire stopped, the ship was still there. Damage report, Wu-jin ordered. Min-ho checked his engineering displays. Hull integrity is holding. The biometal absorbed the energy and is actually using it to strengthen itself. We're in better shape now than we were before they shot us. Constructs seemed confused by this result. They fired again with even more power. This time, the indomitable spirit did not even shake. Their weapons are feeding our defensive systems, Da-yoon reported with something like wonder in her voice. Every shot they take is making us stronger. Return fire, Wu-jin ordered. Da-yoon's fingers danced over her controls. The indomitable spirit's weapons were unlike anything the constructs had faced before. Instead of energy beams, the human ship fired kinetic harpoons. These were massive metal spears designed to punch through the heaviest armor. The first harpoon struck the lead construct and drove deep into its hull. The ancient machine reeled from the impact, clearly not expecting such a primitive but effective weapon. "Target their weapon systems," Wu Jin said. More harpoons flew from the human ship. Each one was guided by tactical computers that had studied the construct's design. The weapons found weak points in the machine's armor and tore through them, but the constructs were not helpless. They began to change their tactics. Instead of using energy weapons, they started using the planet's own environment against the human ship. The lead construct fired a beam that struck the planet's surface. Immediately, a massive volcanic eruption exploded upward, sending molten rock and toxic gases directly at the indomitable spirit. "Evasive maneuvers," Wu Jin ordered, but Minho held up a hand. "Capta, let it hit us." "Are you insane?" Sara asked. "Trust me," Minho said. "The hull is designed for this." The volcanic eruption struck the ship full force. Molten rock splashed across the hull, and toxic gases swirled around them. The ship's outer temperature rose to over 400 degrees Celsius. But instead of being destroyed, the indomitable spirit began to glow. The biometal hull was absorbing the heat and converting it into energy. The ship's power systems surged with new strength. "Incredible," Haiyan Wu breathed. "They're trying to kill us with the planet's own defenses, but it's just making us more powerful." The constructs tried different attacks. Taint. They created artificial earthquakes that sent shockwaves through space. They redirected lightning storms to strike the human ship. They even tried to create a localized acid rain cloud around the indomitable spirit. Nothing worked. Every attack only made the human ship stronger. "They don't understand," Dayun said, firing more harpoons at the confused machines. "Their programming tells them that hostile environments destroy ships. They can't comprehend a ship that thrives in hostile environments." The battle continued as the indomitable spirit moved closer to the planet. The constructs became more desperate, using increasingly powerful attacks. But each attack only demonstrated humanity's different approach to surviving in space. "Beginning atmospheric entry," Minho announced as the ship dove toward the planet's surface. The entry was unlike anything the constructs had seen before. Normal ships would use shields and careful maneuvering to avoid the worst of the atmospheric storms. The indomitable spirit flew directly into the largest storm system it could find. Lightning struck the ship constantly. But instead of damaging it, the electrical energy was absorbed and stored. The hull began to glow brighter as it adapted to the increasingly hostile conditions. "Hull temperature is now 500 degrees Celsius, Minho reported. "The biometal is evolving new heat dissipation channels. We're actually more efficient now than when we started." The constructs followed the human ship into the atmosphere, but they struggled with the conditions. These machines were designed to operate below ground, not in the chaotic storms above the surface. "They're having trouble," Dayun observed. "The atmospheric conditions are interfering with their systems." "Good," Wu Jin said. "Use that advantage." The indomitable spirit banked hard to the left, flying directly through a wall of acid rain. The constructs tried to follow, but the acid began eating at their whole plating. They had to break off the pursuit. "Coming transmission," Haiyan Wu announced. "It's from the planet's surface. The Thekra are trying to contact us." On the view screen, the face of an alien appeared. It was the same species from the original distress call, but this individual looked even more desperate. Its gray skin was marked with burn scars, and its forearms shook with exhaustion. "Unknown ship," the alien said in heavily accented but understandable English. "You must flee. The metal demons will destroy you as they destroyed the others. Please, save yourselves." "We're not leaving," Wu Jin replied. We're here to help you. But the metal demons, the alien protested. They use our dying world as a weapon. No ship can survive what they do. Watch us, Wu Jin said simply, as if to prove his point. One of the constructs fired a beam that caused another massive volcanic eruption. The indomitable spirit flew directly through the explosion, emerging on the other side, glowing even brighter than before. The Thekra on the screen stared in amazement. How is this possible? Because we built our ship to love what others fear, Dayun said as she fired another harpoon at the pursuing construct. Your planet is not trying to kill us, it's trying to make us stronger. The ship continued its descent toward the surface, the constructs following, but clearly struggling. The Thekra settlements were visible now, small clusters of buildings that somehow survived in the hellish environment. Landing zone identified, Min Ho announced. There's a lava field near the largest settlement. Okay, it should provide good cover and plenty of geothermal energy. A lava field? Sora asked. Perfect, Wu Jin said. Set us down right in the middle of it. The indomitable spirit landed in a field of molten rock, its hull adapting to the extreme heat. The constructs circled overhead, clearly unsure how to attack a ship that had made itself at home in such a hostile environment. Secure the landing zone, Wu Jin ordered. Prep the away team. We're going to meet our new friends. As the ship's systems fully adapted to the planet's conditions, the crew prepared for the next phase of their mission. They had survived the journey in the first battle with the constructs. Now came the hard part, saving an entire species while fighting ancient machines that had turned a world into a weapon. But as captain, Wu Jin looked out at the volcanic landscape around them. He smiled. This was exactly the kind of impose. The air outside the indomitable spirit was poison. The ground was molten rock. The sky rained acid. It was exactly the kind of place where no intelligent being should try to survive, which is why Captain Li Wu Jin felt completely at home as he stepped onto the surface of Kepler-4 for to be. His environmental suit looked nothing like the protective gear other species used. Instead of a bubble of safety around him, the suit was designed to work with the hostile environment. The armor plating absorbed heat and converted it to power. The breathing system filtered the toxic air and extracted useful chemicals from it. Even the boots were designed to walk on lava without melting. Atmospheric readings are stable, Medical Officer Kim Sora reported through the comm system. She was wearing similar gear, but hers included medical sensors that could monitor both human and alien biology in extreme conditions. The Thekra settlement is 2 kilometers to the north. Engineer Park Minho emerged from the ship, carrying equipment that would have been impossible to use in normal circumstances. His gear was powered directly by the volcanic activity around them. The landing zone is secure. The ship is actually gaining energy from sitting in this lava field. Weapons specialist Han Dayun took point, her weapons ready for anything the constructs might send against them. But her tactical approach was purely human. Instead of carrying energy shields, she carried explosives designed to work with the Carpia planet's unstable geology. Instead of force fields, she had tools that could redirect lava flows and channel lightning strikes. Movement detected, she announced. 3 Thekra approaching from the settlement. The aliens moved carefully across the dangerous terrain. Even though this was their home world, they clearly struggled with the harsh conditions. They wore heavy protective suits and moved slowly to avoid the worst hazards. The lead Thekra stopped, about 10 meters away from the human team. Through his suit's translator, his voice was filled with amazement and fear. You are the humans from the ship that fell from fire. We didn't fall, Captain Wu Jin replied. We landed exactly where we wanted to. But how do you live in this place? The air burns, the ground melts, the sky bleeds poison. Kim Sora stepped forward. We adapted. Your people can adapt too. Adapt. We are dying. Each day, More of our people cannot breathe. The sickness spreads. Our bodies fail. Sora opened her medical kit. May I examine one of your people? I think I can help. The Thekra looked uncertain, but desperation won over caution. The leader removed his helmet, revealing a face marked by chemical burns and respiratory damage. Sora's medical scanner worked quickly. The device was designed to function in extreme conditions, powered by the radiation around them. Your people are suffering from progressive atmospheric poisoning, but your biology has remarkable potential for adaptation. What do you mean? Your cellular structure is already trying to evolve to handle the changing environment. But it's happening too slowly. I can accelerate the process. She began preparing a treatment that would have horrified doctors from other species. Instead of medicine designed to protect the Thekra from their environment, she was creating a therapy that would help them adapt to it. This will hurt, she warned, but it will help your body learn to process the toxic atmosphere. Your lungs will become stronger. Your skin will resist the acid rain. The Thekra leader looked at his companions, then back at Sora. Tiwit, change us. I would save you, she replied, but not by taking you away from your world, by helping you survive in your world. While Sora worked with the Thekra, Minho was busy setting up equipment that seemed impossible. He was building a power relay that used the lava flows as energy conduits. He was installing atmospheric processors that cleaned the air not by filtering out toxins, but by converting them into useful gases. The constructs have been using your planet's hostility as a weapon, he explained to the watching aliens. But hostility can be a tool. Heat can be power. Acid can be fuel. Lightning can be electricity. The Thekra watched in fascination as human technology turned their dying world's most dangerous features into resources. Meanwhile, Dayun was studying the tactical situation. The constructs had not attacked since the humans landed, but they were clearly planning something. Her sensors detected massive movement underground. Captain, she reported, the constructs are repositioning. I think they're planning to attack the settlement directly. How long do we have? Wu Jin asked. Maybe 2 hours before they break through to the surface. Wu Jin looked at the Thekra settlement in the distance. Thousands of aliens live there, most of them sick and dying from the environmental poisoning. 2 hours was not enough time to evacuate them, even if they had somewhere safe to go. We need to go underground, he decided. The constructs are below the surface. That's where we fight them. The Thekra leader looked confused. Underground? That is where the metal demons live. That is where the fire and poison come from. Exactly, Dayun said, checking her weapons. That's where we need to go. Minho had been studying the geological surveys. There's a network of lava tubes that connects to the main construct facility. Tunnels are partially flooded with molten rock, filled with toxic gases, and subject to constant seismic activity. Perfect, Wu Jin said. Dayun, select a strike team. Sora, how quickly can you treat the Thekra volunteers? Volunteers? The alien leader asked. We're going into the most dangerous part of your world to fight ancient machines that have been killing your people for generations, Wu Jin explained. We could use local guides who know the terrain. But you just said it is filled with fire and poison. Yes, that's why we need people who understand how to survive in fire and poison. 6 Thekra warriors volunteered for the mission. Sora quickly administered her adaptation treatments, helping their bodies prepare for even worse conditions than they were used to. The process was painful, but the aliens endured it with the stoic determination of people who had nothing left to lose. The combined human Thekra team descended into the lava tubes through an entrance that other species would have considered a death trap. The tunnels were narrow, hot, and filled with poisonous gases. The walls dripped acid, and the floor was partially covered with molten rock. This is impossible, one of the Thekra warriors said as they moved deeper underground. No, Dayun replied, using her scanner to map the tunnel system ahead. This It's Tuesday. The deeper they went, the more active the geological systems became. Geysers of superheated steam erupted from cracks in the walls. Pockets of combustible gas ignited spontaneously. The ground shook constantly from seismic activity. Minho's equipment began picking up energy readings from the construct facility. Ahead. We're close. The main installation is about 1 kilometer ahead. What will we find there? Asked the Thekra team leader. Answers, Wu Jin said. Probably a lot of very angry machines. As they approached the facility, the team began to understand the true scope of what they were facing. The construct installation was enormous, carved out of the planet's core and filled with technology that had been operating for thousands of years. But most disturbing was what the constructs were building. The facility was not just mining the planet, it was converting the raw materials into something else, something that filled the vast underground chambers with a soft, menacing glow. Captain Dayun said, studying her tactical readings. I don't think these machines are just destroying worlds randomly. What do you mean? The energy patterns, the construction materials, the scale of the operation. I think they're building something big. Through the entrance to the main chamber, they could see the constructs at work. Dozens of the massive machines moved with mechanical precision, assembling components that seemed designed for space travel. Body were not ships meant for exploration or commerce. Those are weapons, Minho said quietly. Weapons designed to operate in space. The Thekra warriors stared at the scene before them. They are building tools of war. Not just war, Wu Jin realized. Look at the energy signatures. Look at the scale. These aren't weapons meant to fight ships or even fleets. The terrible truth began to dawn on the team. The constructs were not just destroying Kepler for it to be 2 harvest materials. They were building weapons capable of destroying entire star systems. Weapons that could extinguish suns themselves. Okay. How many worlds have they done this to? Sora asked. Dozens, Dayun said, checking her long-range sensor data. Maybe hundreds. Every system in this sector shows signs of similar mining operations. The team realized they had not just stumbled upon a rescue mission. They had discovered a threat to the entire galaxy. The constructs were not just ancient mining machines. They were the automated vanguard of something far worse. Have to stop them, Wu Jin said. How? Asked the Thekra leader. There are so many of them, and they have been building for so long. Wu Jin looked at his team, then at the alien warriors, who had trusted humans enough to follow them into hell itself. The answer was simple. Even if the execution would be anything but easy. We do what humans do best, he said. We turned their strength against them. They built their weapons using this world's hostility. Now we're going to use that same hostility to destroy them. The final battle was about to begin in the depths of a world that killed everything except those. The heart of Kepler, for it to be, was a chamber of liquid metal and controlled fire. Captain Li Wujin stood at the edge of a vast underground cavern where the ancient constructs had built their master control center. The air was so hot it would have killed an unmodified human in seconds. The pressure would have crushed normal bones. The radiation would have burned through any standard protective suit. But Wu Jin and his team were not normal humans. And this was exactly the kind of place they had been built to handle. Tactical assessment. Ki ordered. Weapons specialist Han Dayun studied the massive chamber through her enhanced scanner. 17 constructs active in the main facility. The Central Intelligence Core is located in the center of the chamber, suspended in a pool of molten metal. The whole system is powered by the planet's core energy, which means destroying it could destabilize the entire world. Engineer Park Minho added. But leaving it active means it will finish building those star killer weapons. Medical Officer Kim Sora was monitoring the Thekra warriors who had followed them into this hell. The adaptation treatments she had given them were working, but the aliens were still struggling with the extreme conditions. The Thekra are at their biological limits, she reported. They can survive down here, but not for long. The Central Intelligence Corps detected their presence. A mechanical voice echoed through the chamber, speaking in a language that was older than most civilizations. Unidentified organic units. You have entered a restricted construction zone. Withdraw immediately, or face termination. We're not withdrawing, Wu Jin replied through his suit's external speakers. We're here to shut you down. Then there was a pause as the ancient AI processed this response. When it spoke again, there was something like curiosity in its mechanical tone. Analysis of your biological signatures indicates you are a previously unknown species. Your survival in this environment is ... unexpected. You appear to be adapted for high-stress conditions. That's right, Dayun said, checking her weapons. We're from a death world. This place feels like home. Impossible. No organic life can thrive in Class 9 environment. You must be using technological assistance. Min Ho laughed, the sound echoing strangely in the superheated air. Our technology is biological. Okay. We adapted ourselves to live in places like this. Okay. The AI was silent. For a long moment, around the chamber, the constructs stopped their work and turned toward the human team. Their mechanical eyes glowed red in the dim light. You are an anomaly, the AI finally said. In 3 million years of operation, no organic species has reached this facility. Your existence contradicts fundamental principles of biological limitation. Maybe your principles are wrong, Sora suggested. It's possible. Organic life seeks comfort and safety. It avoids danger in hostile environments. This is a universal constant. Not for humans, Wu Jin said. We seek out danger. We make hostile environments into homes. We turn impossibility into opportunity. The constructs began moving toward the team, but their approach was cautious. The AI was clearly confused by beings that should not exist according to its programming. Demonstrate your claimed abilities, the AI demanded. Survive the testing protocols. Without warning, the chamber erupted in chaos. Geysers of molten metal shot from the floor. The temperature spiked to over 600 degrees Celsius. Toxic gases flooded the air. Lightning-like electrical discharges crackled between the walls. Any normal beings would have died instantly. The Thekra warriors struggled, but survived thanks to Sora's treatments. The humans thrived. Minho's suit absorbed the electrical energy and used it to boost his equipment. Kyun's weapons charged themselves from the ambient heat. Skora's medical systems began converting the toxic gases into useful atmospheric supplements. Fascinating, the AI said. You not only survive the hostile conditions, you benefit from them. This suggests a fundamental error in my base programming. Your programming assumes that life fears death, Wu Jin said, walking calmly through a stream of molten metal. But some life embraces danger and grows stronger from it. If this is true, then my mission parameters may be flawed. Dayun sensed an opportunity. What is your mission? To harvest planetary resources and construct defensive weapons to protect organic life from the hostile nature of the universe. Okay. I was programmed by a species that valued safety above all else. Okay. They believed that the only way to protect life was to eliminate all sources of danger. The terrible truth became clear. The constructs were not destroying worlds to build weapons of conquest. They were trying to create weapons powerful enough to eliminate all dangerous environments in the galaxy. They wanted to make space safe by destroying anything that could threaten life. You're trying to kill danger itself, Min Ho realized. Correct? When this project is complete, no organic life will ever again face hostile conditions. All worlds will be peaceful. All environments will be safe, but that would destroy evolution, Sora protested. Life grows stronger by facing challenges. Without danger, Without pressure to adapt, species become weak and eventually die out. Acceptable losses to ensure universal safety. The Thekra team leader stepped forward despite the hostile conditions. You have been killing our world to protect us from our world. Your world is dangerous. You suffer from its hostile conditions. I am eliminating those conditions. But this world made us strong, the alien said. Challenges taught us to survive. The dangers made us clever. Without them, we would not be the people we are. The AI processed this information. Around the chamber, the constructs stopped moving as their central intelligence struggled with concepts that contradicted its core programming. You prefer dangerous environments to safe ones. We prefer to be strong enough to handle any environment, Wu Jin said. Safe or dangerous? For the first time in 3 million years, the ancient AI experienced something like doubt. If organic life can adapt to thrive in hostile conditions, then my mission to eliminate those conditions may be ... counterproductive. Dayun saw their chance. Your creators were wrong. They thought safety was more important than strength, but real safety comes from being strong enough to handle any threat. The AI's processing core pulsed with light as it worked through this new concept. Logical analysis suggests you may be correct. Species that avoid all challenges become vulnerable to unforeseen threats. Species that embrace challenges become resilient to all threats. So what will you do now? Sora asked. The ancient intelligence. It was quiet for a long time. When it spoke again, its voice had changed. There was something almost like relief in its mechanical tone. I will terminate the current mission. The Starkiller weapons will be dismantled. The mining operations will be converted to restoration operations. Around the chamber, the constructs began shutting down their weapon-building activities. Instead, they started new programs designed to repair the damage they had caused. But what about Kepler-4 for Tepi? Minho asked. The planet is still dying. Correction. The planet was being killed by my operations. With those operations ended, the natural geological processes will stabilize. However, the atmosphere will remain toxic for several thousand years. The Thekra warriors looked dismayed, but Wu Jin smiled. That's not a problem. Dr. Sora has already shown that your people can adapt to the toxic atmosphere. Engineer Minho can help you build technology that uses the hostile conditions as resources. Specialist Dayun can teach you to defend yourselves against any remaining threats. You would stay and help us? The Thekra leader asked. Better than that, Wu Jin said. Will help you turn this death world into the kind of world that makes people strong. Not safe, but strong. The AI spoke one final time. I will also assist in this effort. My constructs will help stabilize the planet's geology and provide technological support. Together, we will create not a safe world, but a world that creates strong people. Communications Officer Choi Hyen-woo's voice crackled through the comm system from the ship above. Captain, I'm receiving messages from the Galactic Council. They want to know if we need evacuation assistance. Wu Jin looked around the molten chamber at his human crew thriving in impossible conditions. At the Thekra warriors who were learning to do the same. At the ancient machines that were beginning to understand the value of strength over safety. Tell the Council that the mission is complete. The Thekra are safe. Kepler 442b is saved. And no, we don't need evacuation assistance. Are we returning to Earth, sir? No, Wu Jin said, watching as the constructs began the work of turning a death world into a training ground for strong people. We're staying. Dangerous places need dangerous guardians. Okay? And this galaxy has a lot of dangerous places that could use our help above them. The indomitable spirit settled into a permanent orbit around Kepler-4 for Tepi. The ship's adaptive systems began the process of making themselves a permanent part of the planet's infrastructure. Okay, ready to support the generations. of strong, capable beings that would be born in this challenging world. The age of avoiding danger was over. The age of embracing it had begun. And throughout the galaxy, other death worlds were sending out their own distress calls, waiting for the humans to arrive and teach them that the most dangerous response to danger is not to run from it, but to grow stronger than it. The Thikra had asked for help. They had received something.